Hello and welcome to Janette's I'm Every Woman TV. We are live on location in Thornhill at the Studio Hair Salon, 531 Atkinson Avenue, at the corner of Bathurst and Atkinson, one light north of Centre Street. Now, the studio happens to be my official hair, threading, and makeup sponsor. So we have a treat for you today. We have Mr. Joseph Deluca in the house. Welcome, Joseph.
Thank you.
And I want to wish you a very happy birthday today.
Now the world knows.
That's right. But now they're going to know a little bit more about you because they should know what an award-winning colorist you are. So, Joseph, talk to me a little bit. How did you get into the hair business?
Well, it was really sheerly by accident. I started off in marketing. Hated it. Was going to go back to school. My brother-in-law, who is in this industry, had suggested I try hairdressing. At first I laughed at him. And then I thought about it and I figured, why not? And I did, and I fell in love with the technical part.
And you are a color specialist.
That's all I do.
That's all you do, and you do it well. So let's talk a little bit about the coloring process, because I think today women are a tad confused about what they should be doing. So we have regular color, which is like basically a full color dye job. We have foil highlights, we have cap highlights, we have ombre, and probably 5 million other things in between. What is right for what type of woman?
Well, hopefully we don't have any cap highlights anymore. Certainly a very painful process. Something
recall.
I can't say I've ever done, but I've certainly seen it done. What's right for a woman? It's really what, is it within their budget, time frame, type of time they have to spend on their hair. Are they a businesswoman that requires something that's a little bit more traditional? Or are they in the fashion industry that they can go something a little bit more avant-garde? So it's really important to know what a client does for a living. Are they a young mother that has no time? So you're going to have to do something that doesn't require a great deal of time for her, that she doesn't have.
Now, I'm sure you have at least one horror story to share with me of a woman who has been buying dye in the drugstore or something like that, coloring their own hair, maybe even using a natural color solution at the health food store. Can you describe maybe a positive or negative story that happened as a result and how you had to fix the problem?
Well, colors are funny. For a person to go to a drugstore, buy color, put it on their hair for the first time, may come out fine. They may not have any problems at all. It's when they go to change that color that they start creating problems. They don't know remaining pigment. There's so many factors that go into a hair color, and that's the pigment that's in your hair, your natural pigment, the pigment that's left at the level you're going to, the pigment that you're depositing. The combination will give you various colors. Yes, I've had many horror stories. I've had people come in here with fuchsia hair, looking for a brown. I've had people come in that had tried to do a blonde on their hair and come in with orange. They look like Ronald McDonald.
Oh,
so we've had a lot of fun. We've had a lot of fun, and certainly color correction is something I thoroughly enjoy. I find it very artistic, and certainly it's a process that gets my mind going.
And what would be involved in something like that? If somebody came in with a color correction emergency, let's say, to Dr. Joseph, hair doctor, hair color specialist, what would be the process of reversing that kind of damage?
Well, it depends on what they've done. If they've been coloring their hair out of a box, out of a drugstore color, a black, let's say, and they want to go blonde, well, that's impossible. It just can't be done. For any hairdresser that tries it, all they're going to wind up with is orange hair or really brassy hair, or hair that is broken. In this industry, we call it a chemical haircut. So their hair will just break. I believe in being honest with a client. If it's within the realm that can be done, we'll certainly advise what should be done, and always what the costs are. And the costs can be quite high in color correction, depending on what the process is and what we have to do. Sometimes it's done over a period of 2 or 3 different processes. So it may take a couple of days, 2, 3 days, 2, 3 weeks to correct a problem. But they are correctable. And if they're not, we will tell the client and advise them against it. If they choose to go elsewhere and try and have it done, well then, you know, it's out of our hands. But I believe that honesty is a big thing in our industry.
Well, I think honesty should be in every aspect of life and
it should be, but unfortunately it's not.
True. Joseph, let's talk a little bit about what happens after the coloring. A good color job could last at least a month, and when we're talking like ombre and highlights, we're looking more than a month, a couple of months. But the maintenance in between, how does one really maintain a color in between? Is it, you know, something to do with the shampoo or the conditioner? Well,
if it's color, root color, where you're actually altering your whole base color, then yes, every 4 or 5 weeks is a good ratio for coming in for your touch-ups. But to maintain at home, yes, it's absolutely paramount that you use a good shampoo, a good conditioner, proper product. Your stylist should recommend the products that should be used at home to maintain the look they've just given you. If they don't, they're charging you full price for half the service. And I believe that part of our service is to recommend to our client what should be used at home so that they could look great all the time.
And how are you on this root touch-up stuff that's being promoted today?
I think it's one of the best things they've come out with, because it's forced more people to come into the salon. It really is.
How so?
Well, they wind up with roots that are what we call hot roots in our industry. So they're very vibrant roots with, and they just kind of shine. They looking at them saying, "Oh my God, I got to tone these down." So it has brought more clients into the salon to correct something they've done.
Okay, so we're running a little short on time, and the last question I have is, you know, just roughly for a good, decent color or highlight or whatever, what price point is a woman looking at?
Again, it depends. It depends on what they're having done. Your average color touch-up is roughly about $60. And it can vary if there's a little bit of correction to be done in there, if there's any filling, if they're going from blonde to dark, for example, then you have to fill the hair. So that's a different process altogether. You're putting pigment back in before you color. So that there's an added cost to that. But on average, for just your root touch-up, you're looking at around $60.
Okay, so now I would like everyone to be able to find you. Now, ladies, if you think I look great, because I think I look great, and I have partly Joseph to thank. He did my color, and I have received numerous compliments on it. And I'm not just telling you this because he's my sponsor, because I really know the difference when I look good and when I don't look good. I actually came in here having been with a previous hairdresser where I had so much root, and I had just had my hair done. And I walked in here to talk to Joseph, and he said to me, "Oh, you need your roots done." And I'm like, "What? I just had them done. What are you talking about?" And he actually started fixing up my hair. So, you know, I do check these things out. I don't just work with anybody. Joseph, please tell us how we can get in touch with you and your website.
Well, it's very easy. We're located at 531 Atkinson Avenue. It's on the corner of Bathurst and Atkinson in Thornhill. Our phone number is 905-597-1450.
You also have a Facebook page.
We do.
The Studio. Okay, so thank you for taking this time to not only be a guest on our show, but have us here.
All right, thank you. It was a pleasure.
Thank you for being a sponsor of Janette's I'm Every Woman TV.
And that is my pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for being with us today. I hope you've learned a lot about hair color, because you know, hair color is a very important part of your image, and your hair says a lot about you. Please like and follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter using the hashtag Janette's I'm Every Woman TV. And until next time, continue to be